Hey guys, it's time for another trucking market update. Welcome back to another video, and today I have mostly positive signals to share with you from the market. And the best part is that there is some consistency that I'm seeing, which is awesome. Now the question is it seasonality? Probably, but I will take it. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on whether the market is actually starting to turn or whether it's a temporary bump. So let's chat about capacity, volumes, rejections, and then take a peek at the spot market and see where the best areas are for dry vans, reefers, and flatbeds. Ready? Let's go! All right, first things first, we always talk about capacity. What is the net change in carrier population week over week? We lost an additional 371 carriers after seeing an increase of 40-some carriers last week. Now, next, you guys asked me to include the spot versus contract rates in the weekly videos, so I have that. The dark blue is us currently, the light blue is 2023. So the higher the value is on this chart, the less the gap between what contract carriers are earning and what spot carriers are earning. Currently, contract carriers are earning on average 61 cents per mile more than those spot carriers. Now, what about volumes in the general market? Well, white line is us in 2024, blue line is 2023, and the thing you will see is that since the beginning of the year, pretty much volumes have been higher in the general market this year compared to last year. And the best part is we see that the volumes are continuing to climb. Now, what about rejection rates? Same concept, white is us now, blue is us in 2023. And you can see that rejection rates are actually climbing. They have currently surpassed the 5% mark. Currently, rejections are at 5.16%. Anything below 5% shows that the market is contracting. So this is a really good number. And as you can see, we're still climbing. Thank goodness. Now, in terms of diesel prices, unfortunately, not such great news. If you guys read about it, you see that the price per barrel has gone up, and so have diesel prices. Currently, we are at $3.83 on a national average. But now it's time to chat about the spot market, and we're going to start with dry vans. So, week over week, rates for dry vans, according to FTR Intel, saw kind of no increase at all, but year over year, rates are actually up 0.2% for dry vans. Now, over 5 years, of course, they're down 10%. In terms of volumes on the spot market, since last week, volumes dropped by 1.4%. But if we compare to this time last year, they're up by 1.5%. Now, if we compare over 5 years, dry van volumes are down 30%. But the question is, where are the better markets for dry vans? So we have our rejections by Sonar and volumes by Sonar. And this is for the general market when we're looking at dry vans. But from these maps, what we know is that the top 5 volume states for vans are Dallas, Ontario, Atlanta, Georgia, Los Angeles, California, and Houston, Texas. That does not mean these are the best markets. Now, on the rejection side, the highest rejections for dry vans happen in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The percentages are in the brackets. Savannah, Georgia, Tifton, Georgia, Roanoke, Virginia, and Jacksonville, Florida. And again, as a reminder, this does not tell us that these are the best markets. This does. We're putting the volumes and rejections together to figure out where do most loads end up on the spot market. So those areas for dry vans are Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Ontario, California, and Los Angeles, California. All right, now let's go through that whole thing again, but for reefers this time. So reefer rates on the spot market actually increased by 4 cents per mile, which is awesome. Rates year over year for reefers are up 1%, but over 5 years, down 6%. Now, volumes week over week went up by 2.3%, and year over year, they're up 8%. However, if we're comparing to the 5-year average, reefer volumes are down 29%. The question now is, where are the better areas for reefers? Again, we have our rejection map, we have our volume map. This is the general view of the market for reefers, and then we have a breakdown. So in terms of general volume, the most volume for reefers comes out of Joplin, Missouri, Allentown, Pennsylvania, Lakeland, Florida, Joliet, Illinois, and Fort Worth, Texas. Now, in terms of rejections, contract carriers reject freight in Grand Junction, Colorado, Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is the first time I have seen that market on this chart, Quincy, Illinois, Memphis, Tennessee, and Houston, Texas. And again, the volumes and rejections by themselves don't tell us anything. We have to compare both. So that's what I did. The places where there is more of a trickle-down effect to the spot market right now for reefers are Ontario, California, Fresno, California, Fort Worth, Texas, Joplin, Missouri, and Los Angeles, California. Finally, we have flatbeds or open deck trailers. So rate per mile week over week went up by 1 cent. Not anything special. Now, year over year, flatbed rates on the spot market are down 2.4%, and rate over 5 years is down 6%. But then we have flatbed volumes. Since last week, volumes dropped by 14.2%. Year over year, they're down 12%, and over 5 years, down 42% for flatbeds. As a reminder, unfortunately, I do not have those sonar maps for flatbeds, so I do my own using TruckStop. First, we're going to take a look at load volumes by state. Unfortunately, they don't have market areas. The darker an area is, the more loads come out of that state. And it hasn't changed at all. We can see that the plain states, they don't have volumes for flatbeds. The southern states do. And actually some of the western and Pacific Northwestern states start to see more volume. But what about capacity? Same concept here. The lighter it is, the less trucks there are. The darker it is, the more trucks there are. And what we can see is that there are not a lot of trucks in the northern states right here in the Pacific Northwest, but there are a lot of them in the Midwest, East Coast, and South. Now the question is, how does this affect load to truck ratios, and how does this affect our negotiating power? By the way, if you hear snoring, that's because Snickers is just chillaxing on the couch right now. God bless her. Anyway, load to truck ratios. Anything red is overcapacity. There is less than a load per truck, and I can tell you it has gotten better since last week. Even though it looks scary, it's better than last week. Anything beige is about a load per truck, right? Texas is actually now a load per truck. Last week, it was over capacity. Anything yellow, Louisiana and Oregon, is about 2 loads per truck. Anything green is over 3 loads per truck, and this has not changed. Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama still are the best places to be if you have a flatbed. It was always funny to me to observe how the market might be doing one thing, but your particular operations are doing something totally different. That's what we have experienced so far. When the market was completely bad, we were doing more or less okay. Of course, with some serious bumps along the road, but it was manageable. Now that the market is starting to show signs of life because it is that time of year, our operations are an absolute mess. So it's curious to see how things actually relate to one another, and sometimes they don't relate to one another at all. But the question now is this a turn in the market finally that we have all been waiting for over 2 years now, or is it just a temporary bump due to seasonality? Well, here are my 2 cents, and I really am curious to hear what you guys think. I think that what we are seeing right now is just regular seasonality. But as I said in the interest rates video, the foundation of trucking, the thing that really gives us some consistency, that is cracked and it needs mending. So for now, I'm going to enjoy the positive change, of course, but I'm definitely not looking to add any more trucks or expand in any way until I see that the foundation is starting to get fixed. What do you guys think? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today and watching. I hope that you learned something new. Wishing you a fantastic rest of your week and weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning. See you in the next video.